So it wasn't as if the state really raised their budget, or that we really raised their budget. That was a pretty modest increase. So I think what you'll find is the breakdown will be as such. Some people saw their taxes go down in the UT. Some people saw their taxes go the same. If you had desirable property, or what the real estate figures showed to be desirable property, your valuation went up, and if it went up high enough, your taxes would go up. So I think that's going to be the gist of it. Now there's certain elements I'd like to figure out more. There is a informational meeting that Liz Caruso is putting together up in Rockwood next Wednesday, the 10th, at 6 p.m. Dave and I have been invited. Some individuals from Maine Revenue will be there, so that will be helpful, I think. And then on October the 1st, I think is our October meeting. It's not our next meeting, but on October the 1st, Lisa Wynot with Maine Revenue Service, she's basically the state assessor for the unorganized territories. She'll be here and answer any questions you might have about the impact of TIFs, the impact of conservation, and those things in the UT. So, Dave, did you have anything to add, any of your research or thoughts? Or?
Well, initially they sent out everybody's valuation, and it went through the roof, 250% increase. And everyone started calling me, and I said, hold on, until we know what the mill rate is, the valuation doesn't mean much. When the bills actually came out, the mill rate did go down. It did not go down as much as I was expecting. But when you total everything up, as Patrick said, the overall money collected through taxes is only like a 3% increase. It's not much of an increase. So all they did is they shifted on who paid the most taxes. And yes, waterfront is more valuable than a back lot, which is all woods. So I can understand it. As one of the people affected that own waterfront, I didn't appreciate the 83% increase in my taxes, but I could understand it. So I think once it's explained to people, then I don't expect a huge uproar. You know, it's painful. I would like to have seen them spread this out through multiple years. I think this is too drastic an increase for 1 year for most taxpayers. Tom Hegan Township now has a valuation of over $1 billion.
Did you say $1 billion?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. It is our most valuable.
Is that because of lake frontage on Moosehead?
Yeah. Moosehead and Brassway. It's actually borders on each side. Right. So yeah, a lot of camps. Or houses, residences, shall we say now.
Well, do you know, Dave, if like some modest kind of rundown trailer on a lot on Lexington Flats, did their taxes go up a lot, or is that?
No. If you're not waterfront, your taxes probably went down because the mill rate went down almost 2 points.
Because I think Representative Caruso was suggesting that a lot of our sort of low-income, non-lakefront citizens were in the UT had gone up dramatically.
I don't believe so. The valuation might have gone up, but with the mill rate tied in, I was talking to somebody that owned 40-something acres in Upper Enchanted, no waterfront where they were, and their taxes went down. So the valuation may have gone up, but that was offset by the mill rate. It's the waterfront folks that are bearing the brunt of this increase.
So the overall valuation of the UT that's taxable went from just over $1 billion to $1.5 billion. So that's about a 37% increase. So to Dave's point,
In valuation.
So if the waterfront saw 200% increases in valuation, it would stand to reason that if the overall went up 37%, then there would be others that were much lower than that. They'd be offset, that the taxes probably went down. So the mill rate went down 25% from 7.8 5.8 to 5.69. So when the mill rate goes down, if the mill rate went down about the same percentage that the valuation went up, everything would be a little flat. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting next Wednesday to see what kind of turnout we get. And I think probably the most concerned people are going to be the waterfront residents.
What was the time on that?
6 p.m. I think in Rockwood.
6 p.m.
You know how to get to Rockwood?
Yeah, I do now. Adams Dam Road.
Avoid that one. Actually, avoid the Loomis Mountain Road also. That's got a big washout from 2000.
And what is it? The Clearwater Mountain Road or something like that it's a riverbed. But I made it through all of them. It's just really slow going.
Yeah.
The other thing I put in your packets that I'm interested in learning more about from Maine Revenue is the impact on TIF on all the other taxpayers. Because right now with the corridor, the county has sheltered about $200 million worth of value between the wind projects and the corridor. So that's $200 million that would be added to the valuation, which as the valuation goes up, everybody's tax bill would go down a little bit. So it does have an impact on the average property taxpayer because so much valuation has been sheltered. And you know, it is what it is. I mean, you have an option as commissioner. You actually have a couple of options. You have an option of commissioners not to take the full amount that is owed to you through the credit enhancement agreement or through the TIF with the power line. The other thing, which I think maybe as you get ready for the next budget season, which actually will come up in just a few months here for the UT, you might want to consider how you might take some of those TIF dollars and maybe continue to offset or flatten out that portion of the TIF budget or of the UT budget. So there is an impact to it. So I always knew that there was a dirty secret with TIFs.
Typically, with UT, the state could still TIF that, not the county. Then that would get thrown into the general UT fund, then sprinkle across all UTs in the state.
Yeah.
And so that's the only risk you really run is water.
Can you start over, Chris, on that? Well, right by me.
So with the corridor and the wind farm TIFs, had the county not TIF that, Maine Revenue still could have, and that would have gone into the general fund for all UTs across the state, and then kind of water down, sprinkle. It depends how they want to utilize it, I guess.
So instead of what we're doing, staying here.
That's how it's going to explain to me. I could be totally wrong on that, but that's come up and down quite a few times. So our thought was targeting Somerset.
We have more control through the TIF process than if we just let the state collect the taxes and then disperse it how they chose to. No, it wouldn't only go to Somerset. They could disperse it to Washington, Rooster, or any other.
Yeah. So you see a lot of these energy projects in organized towns, and they don't want to TIF it because they don't want to lose that revenue. And that wouldn't stay directly with that town, although that impacts their state funding equation for school education and other things. So there's a lot of factors to TIFing. While we're on that, Tim, I don't know if anyone's heard that Eaton Peabody is essentially dissolved.
Yeah.
Have you guys discussed that at all?
We have discussed it.
So I spoke with Andy Hamilton, one of the partners, last month, and himself, John Cottle, who's representing the county, and someone else left and formed their own firm. So I'll make that introduction to you, Tim.
Yep.
They wanted to catch up and are still interested in representing the county on that.
Okay.
So.
All right. I think that's all we had for the update. And if you can join us on Wednesday, that'd be great.
In Rockwood.
Yeah.
At 6 p.m.
I'm referring to the
You're going?
to the
I
commission.
want to go overnight.
Rockwood where? Fire
Community
station.
center.
Community center.
Community center, fire station.
Yeah, right.
I'd go with Joel, but we didn't have Jack.
Is the county plane available? We could all fly out.
If you trust the pilot, that's David.
I'd say the fly-in is in Greenville. Well, that's this weekend. It'll be done by. There may be some extra traffic.
You might get chased out of there if the taxation group shows up.
That is the scary part.
Did you go?
Definitely wearing my mask.
And then come home in the dark? No. I'm not going to Rockwood in the dark.
Same distance.
When was that assessed last at UT? Is that annually?
It's 3 years.
All right, so that's probably the kicker.
Right. The last one they did was pre-COVID, so it was 17, 18, and 19.
Yeah.
And this one is 20, 21, 20, or 21, 22, 23. So yeah, that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Good on evaluation? Abatement hearing process.
So in a if we receive any appeals, mention that we might want to just run through our process real quickly. So we've updated a lot of things. So right now, this is kind of a snapshot of the page on the county website. So if they go to the website, and if anybody ever asks you, how do I file an appeal of my abatement? You go to the county website, it's on the commissioner's page. So right next to the beautiful picture of Mr. Johnson, there's a little link that says tax abatements. You click on that, it gives you all the paperwork you need to fill out. The abatement form, we've kind of shrunk down to 2 pages. That's what it looks like. And then we kind of have hammered out a process of an abatement hearing procedure. And I updated this form to show a couple of new points here. One, new state law this year clarified that all abatement appeals for commercial properties over $1 million automatically go to the State Board of Property Tax Review. There was an issue in Aroostook County where a taxpayer with a large industrial property wanted to go to the commissioners, and the state Supreme Court said he could. So that issue was addressed in the legislature this year. So now if it's large commercial property, it has to go to the state. So it can't be, the taxpayer can't choose to say which was more advantageous to me, the state or the county.
Okay, so if the assessed value is more than $1 million,
Of a commercial property, not a home, but a commercial property.
so is there a definition of what is a commercial versus what is a?
Timber HP, SAPI.
How about if you have a wax candle business in your garage? I mean, are they
If the garage is valued at over $1 million, then that's a business, right? And you're fighting,
So if you have a $2 million home on Moosehead Lake,
right? Is it assessed as commercial property? That's really what it comes down to.
I just didn't know whether in the assessment, they declared whether it was commercial.
Yes, in every town's assessment, there is a residential, commercial, industrial. So this would affect commercial industrial properties. The other thing I mentioned in here that is, we've instituted a property tax hearing officer to chair any of these, to swear in people that give testimony, to kind of interact with both the taxpayer and the town as they give their sides of the story. And in January, when we appointed all of our different positions, Commissioner Alsop has been appointed for 2025 as the hearing officer. So, and maybe Commissioner Alsop can give the update. I know he spoke with District Court regarding the current status of the Pal Monitor case.
Well, first of all, as far as being the hearing officer, I'm actually flattered that I was selected by my fellow commissioners to serve in that capacity. But I mean, and I appreciate the fact we have a written procedure because I think it's helpful to the litigants. But I mean, I've been either in court with judges or as probate judge having hearings for 17 years, so I kind of know how to do it. I would try to basically follow the general rules of due process and hearings and so forth. I think it's useful to have that written thing for people that don't have lawyers that are showing up here. As far as what's going on with the president one, I did check with the district court. Everything's been done. They've had the arguments. They submitted the briefs. And it's gone down to, and the judge is Judge Bill Stokes, who's typically in Augusta. and he has it on his desk. He's had it on his desk for like a month and a half. He makes his own schedule on that, so I don't know when we'd be getting a decision, but I think it'd be fairly soon. Either comes back to us to fix up our mistakes, or goes to the law court to if somebody wants to take it. If we win, then the town could take a further appeal to the Maine Supreme Judicial Court, and ditto for Mr. Craig. So that's the news.
Yeah, so that's all I had in regarding that topic. If there are any questions.
Any questions, concerns? Going forward, discuss county goals.
I was hoping I had a little more information for you on this one, so I'll be brief. At the last meeting, we talked about mission, vision, goals, and reaching out to Kennebec Valley Council of Governments to perhaps do some inquiry on our behalf with the towns and certain stakeholders in Somerset County to get their feedback and comments on our goals. So hopefully by the next meeting, I'll have more of a proposal for you to look at from KVCOG, how they would engage municipalities and other individuals to kind of see what the feeling is about Somerset County. Do they think that we're meeting these goals? Do they think that we're on track? Are we missing something? I think at the end of the day, feedback is probably valuable from your constituents and really from the people that we serve, which are the municipalities. So hopefully I'll have more on that next time.
Jim, can you take over building assessments?
So they have hired a regional code officer. I was going to talk more about that in my administrative.
So county goals, this is not the strategic plan,
I removed those words.
but we're in the... No,
It may come.
I'm not totally negative about strategic planning, but I'm
Gotcha.
somewhat skeptical of this.
Nonetheless,
It'll come back.
it was county goals. I think we've reviewed those for now. Unless there's any questions or concerns. Seeing none. No public hearings. No new agenda items.
No.
Administrator report.
So I already talked about the meeting up in Rockwood next Wednesday. During the day next Wednesday, I'll be down at KVCOG. Jeff Drew, who was the code officer for Madison, has been hired as the regional code officer for KVCOG to serve Somerset County. There weren't a whole lot of qualified applicants, but that's not to say anything disparaging about Jeff. I think he'd be very good at it. So now the next step is to invite those particular towns that might be interested in entering into an agreement with KVCOG to provide these services. So this individual is an employee of KVCOG. The towns don't have to pay this individual. They will enter an agreement to pay KVCOG for these services, and how that all is going to be fleshed out between 6, 7, maybe 8 towns, because we feel that's about the most that one person can handle. And the expectations, because some towns just want somebody to do plumbing inspections. That's all they want. Some towns want a 911 addressing officer, a health safety officer, a building inspector, building permits, plumbing. So we'll be starting that process. And Brian Bellevue, who is the economic developer in Skowhegan now and former code officer, he and I are kind of on that small panel of KVCOG that's kind of working through this. So one of the contributions that the county made toward this effort will go towards a software program for permits, code, assessing, that'll be housed at KVCOG, but it'll be utilized by all the towns that they serve. Skowhegan's used it for several years. It is a very good program for capturing all the data that you want to capture in code enforcement and assessing. So that will be a benefit to the towns that sign on. And I think that's about it. Everything else is in my regular presentation.
We will, there's no finance reporting today. I don't see
No,
Patrick
Patrick is
here.
expecting a grandchild, so he's out in Indiana.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
Who's going to mow his 40 acres?
That's going to save
Are you going to go down and mow?
No. I could.
I'll meet you there. I can trailer my mower down there. Will you take care of me?
He does it with one of the little John Deere's or whatever.
Well, we'll start with Dave. David.
What's that?
We'll start with you, David.
Okay. Got a couple things going on, or continuations of things I've mentioned before. We're looking into the retaining wall at the transfer station in Rockwood, which is semi-collapsed. We're trying to get, I've got the contractor, our contractor, Ben Stragon up there. He's come up with a plan of reinforcing the kind of railroad type walls that are there with concrete. We've been looking at concrete dealers. I spoke to Mattingly over in North Anson, got prices from them. Unfortunately, they don't deliver, so Dennis would have to come down to pick up the blocks from Rockwood and then deliver those back up to put the walls together. We're looking at another company over in Dover Croft area, and that'd be a much shorter drive for Dennis to go pick them up, but I left a message and they haven't called me back yet. The other one is the ash testing on the burn pile. Signed that contract, sent that in to them. They haven't responded yet with a date that they will come up and do it, because the initial quote was $24,000. I said, what if we use our own contractor with his excavator? So they returned with a $13,000 estimate. So we're trying to arrange a date to get that done. If it's contaminated, then we're just going to have to start collecting money for multiple years to dispose of the ash properly. But that's down the road. We need to get it tested first and get the results. The other issue we have are snow removal contracts. We have 3 that run up next year. We're all set for this winter, but for the following winter, we need to get some contracts done. The question I spoke with Phil today was if we can negotiate with our existing contractors. We actually have one of our contracts is 3 years with 2 years negotiation. It's like a 5-year contract with 3 specified and 2 that aren't. And one that ended 5 years and it's going to be done. And the question was, can we negotiate for extension to that, or do we need to go out to RFPs? We're a little concerned, Phil's concerned, I'm concerned with who may be bidding that will not do as good a job as we're getting now. We ran into that 5 years ago, I think it was, when lowest bidder had been fired by the county in the past, fired by the state in the past, and had issues with nearby towns. So we threw out the low bid, and then the next 2 bids were very close together. And we took, actually it was the highest bid, but he was our current contractor at the time, and had letters of support. People were very happy with the work he did, so we went with that. The other folks really didn't have much experience plowing public roads. We had not. But the question is up to you, whether you want to go straight RFPs or do some negotiation. You don't have to make that decision now, but that's where we are. So that's something that we're looking at. So, otherwise than that, it's fairly normal routine.
I always lean towards negotiation, just so you know.
When you have people you're very happy with, negotiation is
Yeah.
it's worked in our favor.
Yeah.
It definitely has.
I agree as well.
That's what I would do with my own wallet. I would do the same with the taxpayers.
I concur.
Okay, that's it.
Sheriff.
The deck was a substantial drug bust here in Skowhegan. Since the last time we met, the vehicles are in. So we're working through that process. Just to let you know that the closure is September 26th, and I believe the MCCA and the NSA are going to be trying to get, so it is the second half of the legislative session, which is supposed to be only emergency bills, trying to get additional funding for the jails. So we're working through that, and I'll be in Bingham tonight talking to the selectmen.
In Bingham?
Bingham, yes.
About
Concerns that they have.
local concerns?
Yeah, mostly juveniles. We have some, we've done our part. I've been working with the state rep. That might be a bill we're going to try, we're talking about now to get in to hold juveniles a little more accountable. Right now, no matter what enforcement action that we take, it all has to go through a JCCO,
Yeah.
the Juvenile Community Corrections Officer, and they dictate whether a case goes forward or not. They have no law enforcement background. Clearly, I think the prevailing philosophy of the legislature right now is to do like a wraparound community support, but they have no funds that they're putting towards that. So it sounds nice, but the reality on the ground, we need to be a little more holding these juveniles a little accountable a little more. So we'll be talking through that.
What kind of funds are the jails looking for from the legislature in the emergency session?
Well, we asked for I think 13 million in this year and 14 in the next biennium, which we think would bring the funding up to a little more than that 20%. But right now they're paying about 10% of the funding to county jails. We've been flat funded for the last couple of years. So they did give us, the governor gave us $4 million for MAT, medical assisted treatment. And that was a 1 year. That was a bipartisan vote in criminal justice. We got $4 million. They wouldn't agree to the $4 million next year. So.
Per jail or statewide?
Statewide.
Yeah, it'd be nice for you. Yeah, I mean,
It doesn't go very far when you divide it up.
I think the county administrator did a really great presentation at the MSA meeting last week, and county jail operations statewide is around $139 million.
yeah.
And they're paying 20.2. So the rest are being paid by the property taxpayer.
Yeah, it's down under 14, 15%, and the intent, if you go back to that original $20 million figure, that intent was about 20 to 25% that the state would pay, and it's kind of loosely modeled on 55% for schools, right? But that number really isn't right. It's just a number that's out there that somehow they back into. But jails is pretty simple. It's like whatever the state doesn't pay, you pay. The property taxpayer pays. And so it's for the 15 jails in Maine, last year their cumulative budgets was $129 million. And we just got all the expenses in through June 30th, and they spent $130 million. So it's not like anybody was padding their budgets. They spent $130 million. And so now the 2026 budgets that are in is about $139, maybe $140 million for jails. And that's mainly for seeing those people every day. 30,000 people a year are touched by some prison or state jail, or rather county jail system, and it's the emergency room aspect that the state really, certain groups at the state level, bipartisan, just don't want to talk about it. They don't want to.
Though they want to give us more standards.
Yeah.
They want to make us some sort of community, an enhanced community center.
Right.
I have a female in my jail today. Hopefully she'll will have finally gone through all the hoops to get her out, but she does not belong in a county jail. They have found her incompetent to stand trial, and they wouldn't drop the charges because a state judge ordered her into a state facility, and the state facility said, we're not taking her. So we're always pushing back against the state trying to make, because they don't want to really address the mental health issues in the state. They want to make our jails these pseudo mental health facilities, and we are not equipped to handle the level of mental health that is given to us every day. And as far as the state, again, the prison actually gives us a date when you are convicted. A judge says you're convicted of a crime, you're sentenced to a state, the judge gives a sentence. There's only certain days we can take them down to the state prison, and so we're holding those inmates, truly a state inmate, on our taxpayer dime. So there's a lot of those little things that are continuous, but all those little aggregates are really the whole is we're really taking it on the chin.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
So you're going to pump us under, Christian.
Yeah. And other than that, this is how was the play?
Well, I'd pump it up a little bit by saying that I'm very pleased and proud of our jail and the sheriff's office. I think you guys are doing a good job.
We do have a good crew. We have a great jail
And,
administrator.
the fact of the matter is, it's very expensive to run jails anywhere. We're providing a, full service college of sorts with tuition free, with all sorts of health care and benefits and programs, and it's just very expensive. And we ask the taxpayers to pay for it because that's what they want. The taxpayers want a jail where we can put people in as long as possible, generally speaking. If you talk to the man on the street, that's what they want. And that's what you're providing, and you're doing a good job.
Yeah, we offer classes weekly there, and I've had great feedback, and the administrators have been great, the program managers have been great. I think that's a big issue. I mean, we might have a rep in Liz that you don't have to really light a fire under her to look at that, but it's been talked about for 20 years, probably funding these jails, and it's fallen on deaf ears. I mean, even school funding percentages are met some years and not others. But I think they take that as an average across the whole state, right? So these school districts hope that the state will come in at 55%, they come in at 40%, while other districts get 65%. So it's with the state budget where it is now, why we're still in this conversation. Yeah,
Amen.
just a feeling. Yeah, I can go with some more. I have a couple of notes here where I can keep crap on the state, actually. Do you want me to bring this up, or was it on an agenda item?
You talking about
The triple? Talk about that later.
Valley? Yeah, you probably don't talk about it now. I did forward your email. I don't know if everybody got it, but I know Commissioner Steckes had commented on it, that there's a need from the Valley Snowmobile Club. But you talk about that.
Yeah, so Moose Alley ATV Club. There's two clubs. There's the ATV, Moose Alley, and then the Valley Rider Snowmobile Club. They're pretty much the same people, but they try to separate financials and stuff like that. They're building a new clubhouse. And did they receive any grant funding for that?
Not for that, no.
It's right along 201. It's right after the tracks, or the old tracks in town. And their thought is, the Binghamton area has been a really good service center for all recreational vehicles. So when you come off from Stolen and Madison, hit that there, and then the other stores and fuel and stuff. So they are building this all with volunteer work. They have the utilities set up, the framing, the walls, windows, all that. They need the truss package to get the roof on and close up before winter. They thought they were fine. State required state trail repairs. They're required by the state. Really beat them up on their cash flow this year. So they asked if they're about $10,000 short. they're looking for grants, which everyone is. I said it's probably a better likelihood of extension of the loan that we currently have with that club. So they're okay with that. So I want to bring it before the commission and see. Timing is kind of an issue. I spoke to them after we spoke to them. Come October and November, while these volunteers are hunting and gearing up their own personal stuff. So shelling this building in, they really don't want the new walls they built to start rotting out, mulling out. SCDC can administer that loan, as we do for the Snowmobile Club, same terms, and they'd be thrilled to receive that. So I wanted to bring it before you guys and get your thoughts.
So to that point, later on, there is a resolution that wasn't on the original agenda. I put it on today after talking with Christian. So there's a resolution to move $10,000 out of the Community Benefit Fund to SEDC to add to the existing loan that the SEDC administers for the county with the Valley Snowmobile Club. Now, on the desk there, you should have a statement that Patrick provides. So last month, that loan to the Valley Riders, which is originally $65,000, had a balance of $22,000. Christian said today that's down to $17,000. So essentially, we would be recommending that we add $10,000 to that $17,000 balance, get them the cash from CDC advanced as quickly as possible.
What was the original loan amount?
$65,000.
65.
Where does the money come from that they use to pay back the loan?
So most of it's fundraising. They said they have no fundraisers planned for the foreseeable future, so they're not sure. That's their predicament. They don't see how they can raise $10,000.
Also, it's a cash flow issue for the club because they had to pay in their portion of the repairs that the state required them to do, and then they have to wait for the state to reimburse them. So they do have some revenue coming from the state. It's just not going to come until wintertime, and they want to get this project closed in now.
I asked too, I have one vote from my loan committee for us to advance the cash probably next week, waiting for a county reimbursement essentially, because we could probably get them cash 2 to 3 weeks faster. And they said they could probably start construction next week. So we're willing to do that as well.
Is there a reason why it's community benefit instead of TIF?
Because the original loan was used by community benefit, and because they're not located in the UT, although they serve the UT.
Yeah, they serve it.
They're not located in the UT.
In the past, we have opened both.
For Patrick's sake, because he has it listed as a community benefit loan, I'd just rather keep it consistent.
And the purpose of the building again is to...
It's a clubhouse for meetings, visitors.
Probably fundraisers.
What's that?
Probably fundraisers.
Yeah, I mean, right now they're going, they have a back room at 201 Power Sports, but they're really trying to distance that business from
I understood it was sort of multi-user, so if somebody showed up on a mountain bike, they could go and use it to whatever they
Yeah,
want.
they'll have facilities there, and it's kind of I look at it as kind of a trail hub.
Yeah, well, it's very close to the ATV store.
Right.
And
It's what 20 yards from the trail,
Yeah, that's right.
so the location is good.
so if a mountain bike club wanted to have a meeting there, that would be available to them as well as to some of the club or...
Don't quote me on it. I mean, I think they want it for trail use. I mean, it is a clubhouse, so I don't know if they let it.
Is it a joint clubhouse for Moose River and for Valley?
Yeah, so I think
So they're
probably
both-
the same people run both,
Right, they're probably the same people.
but I think they separate it for state funding requirements and stuff like that.
I just didn't know how exclusive it was going to be, given the public funding organization.
I don't want to answer that for them, I guess. I mean, I don't think if someone shows up hiking or biking, I don't see them chasing them off. But I don't know if they're going to have a Sierra Nimba meeting there. I don't know.
No, I don't. There's really no mountain biking clubs up there that I'm aware of. I just want to be reasonably secure in the knowledge that it's not a private club for TV users.
The clubhouse on the Long Falls Dam Road, they share it with the whole community.
Yeah, they do. They hold a
They
lot
have
of meetings.
funerals, weddings.
Yeah, I mean,
County-
Abenaki is open. I think they just asked you to clean and refill the toilet paper.
Right.
You know, so it's.
So like in this particular case, the $10,000, when that gets paid back, what happens to that money?
So we pay the county back quarterly, principal and interest. The total interest on this would be $250. So SCDC is probably not going to take our 1% on it. And
So it's not that we're not giving public money away.
Right, it's coming back.
it'd be coming back.
Yeah, with interest.
And Patrick
Well,
really,
it's, right.
Patrick really is a stickler. If we spent TIF money, when it comes back, it goes into the TIF fund.
Right.
Community benefit goes back into the community benefit, it doesn't go to the general fund.
Right.
So it can be reused.
Yeah. And will they pay it back with the money that they received from the state?
Or normal
They
payments.
think so. I said, "What do you want to mimic?" So after getting off the phone, they said they'd like to separate it, not add it to the Valley Riders because that's its own vehicle.
Okay.
I said, our loan documentation, we run down to our attorneys. It's $300 or $400. It's quick. That's our closing fee. We don't charge anything. And so we essentially duplicate or replicate the other loan language, try to make it fast and cheap. And I said, would you want a 5-year term on it? He said, yeah. He goes, we think we'll just pay it off. He goes, but if we can use the blow. So I think it'd probably be a 5-year loan at 1%, no prepayment penalty.
That's against law.
I'd encourage them to pay it off, not require them. I mean, that's the cheapest money out there right now. That 1% at 5 years, right?
Yeah.
It's almost free.
So, yeah.
So there's a resolution coming up on that.
A couple other things. I mentioned E-Lobby. I'm okay with Tim on that. I did have a conversation with Avangrid last week or week before that kind of stalled when their internal offices, the community benefit agreements with us and the county. So I wanted a little bit more feedback. So, yeah, no, it looks all good. So what we proposed on the county's behalf was green lighted. And it looks like funds will be dispersed end of the year or early 2026. So that will be $600,000 for the county, with eligible uses falling within that criteria we met a few months back about keeping it very vague, so you as a commission can use that as you see fit. The corridor is scheduled to be lit up at the end of the year, so there's really no obstacles there. They're foreseeing that would delay that. So with that too, we've been going back and forth with the state broadband authority on the broadband fund for 2.5 years now. I've increased Somerset's take to $4.2 million on that from the original 2. So that will be coming in. That was supposed to sit within state coffers. We have to draw that down and request our own grants, essentially. We said enough of that. We want a full contract. We want all the money in as soon as we can get it. And the state signatories approved that, so we're waiting for final contract with the state broadband authority on that. So we don't like each other anymore because they've been a total pain. So I'm like, let's get this done. Give us our money and let us do our thing. So they finally agreed to it.
And what is our thing?
With our broadband?
Yeah.
Actually, I was going to get that. So
Teaching people how to go on Netflix.
So we have a state grant that's separate from the broadband fund. It's been teaching digital skills. We go into the jail. We teach people how to set up email, how to do Microsoft Office, stuff like that. And then we also run the Connect Center through that. We purchase computers and tablets and phones for those who qualify. I think we have 30,000 in device funds for that. That is sunsetting at the end of the year.
So those who qualify, those of the Somerset County general population,
Yeah. So
if they want to buy a laptop,
low income, elderly, veteran, and then if you have essentially a firm in Waterville kind of vets them for us. But yeah, they can get a free laptop. Or
how do we advertise this?
you haven't seen it? It's in the local papers, on the radio. You must not be from that demographic we target.
You're not old enough yet.
That's why I'm hearing it all the time now.
A good thing with that, we have essentially prepaid and have a large credit, so we'll be able to continue to offer that after end of 25. With the broadband fund, we did put in some continuation for that. And then, so we've only had one disbursement from the corridor broadband fund, $600,000. 400 will be going to the fiber upgrade from West Fork to Parliament Pond. I keep reporting we're close to signing the contract, and we're a little further apart. And then we're running a municipal modernization program. So we've gone into the 8 towns the corridor runs through, assessing all their IT, giving them recommendations, bringing in contractors to help them with that. And so Bingham isn't a host community, but is zigzagged by the corridor. They're taking the whole caboodle, all new computers, new website, service agreements, and a lot of it's cybersecurity for the towns. I think we talked at some point. Was it Franklin County had ransom?
Yeah.
Costs a lot of money when that happens. Anson, same thing. They're taking the whole thing. Tammy Murray passed away, and they didn't know how to run that town from a back end perspective, at least. Forks, West Forks, Caratunk, and Emden are all taking kind of the mid-level package, but our hope is to keep having funding through the corridor broadband fund to subsidize some of this cost for these towns. But so that's what we've done for the $600,000. We'll be getting another 3.6. We plan on running that for 10 to 15 years, hopefully.
So just to generalize, I started out thinking this was just the cost of running broadband up 201. But
It's
more than
a
that.
component of it.
But we're also basically using these funds to help out towns with their IT, upgrading whatever they have, so they're part of the modern world. And we're also providing equipment, software and hardware to people that can't afford it.
Yeah.
Otherwise. Okay.
We try to get the full spectrum with it. And, the town offices really are the hubs in all these smaller towns. I mean, it's the town office, the general store, sometimes not much else,
Yeah.
So we found a lot of websites where we're not up to par. You can get any information off them. And most of these town offices are open 4 to 6 hours a week. So having online services.
I can think of a town that could benefit a lot from close to home. That could benefit a lot from this service. So this has nothing to do with the fact that some company finally ran internet up to my house. Finally, the last house on the road. That was just
That was separate. There was separate funding. We provided all the data and the construction costs for that project, and hoped someone would build it. And Fidium finally did. Fidium stopped.
Okay. Yeah, Fidium.
Yeah. So we called them in 2021. They had no plans for Somerset County, and we bugged them for a year and gave a 40-pager how to build a fiber network and the costs, and they finally took it. So Fidium at West Forks, that's where they stopped that new fiber, and it's West Forks to Parliament Pond is the last gap in Somerset County, really. So we figured we'd extend that and say we're 100% built out.
It might be just something to think about, but I'm very pleased with the service I have now, and I think I'd be even more happy if I had known, as part of the deal, that the reason I'm getting this is because of this program that you're running. I had no idea until you told me right now
There's a lot of people taking credit for it.
Yeah.
We kind of stand back and thumbs up.
I take a little more credit for it.
Well, it was a 10,000 location. That grant was the largest ever in the state. It was 10,000 properties. Town of Skowhegan contributed 600,000. And we were a little reluctant because Beeline is in our back door, a little more local. Beeline wouldn't entertain a meeting with me for 3 years.
Yeah.
And I said, we can't put all of our eggs in one basket. And they got bought out by Spectrum 6 months later, so, which has not gone over very well. So we're happy the way what happened. But we had our countywide plan. We were ready. We were shovel ready, and then global pandemic released a lot of taxpayer dollars, and so we wanted to get our share of it. So. But we're in a good spot. I mean, we'll have state-of-the-art fiber networks everywhere in the county with programming that can help outside your city. And I think that's it. We helped close the Hawks Nest purchase, the Hawks Nest Lodge, and that really wiped out our loan fund. So we have to get a little more creative with lending. So I appreciate the potential for the county injection funds. There is some other programs we can borrow money at, but my board's pretty reluctant to take out that liability. So our lending may cool down the next couple of years, which is okay. I can focus on some other things. But right now it's broadband and financing is most of my time. So we'll be out of cash pretty soon here for lending. But we're good at finding money for people. So the Hawks Nest loan took 7 months to process, and we stayed in it to. I mean, if you go out there, it's one of the staples in the community, really. And it was a local buyer, so we wanted to help where we could. So we got creative with financing, but we'll have to shift to that creative capital stacking more than just lending funds ourselves. That's all I got. Sorry, I'm long-winded.
Dave?
I just wanted to add this. At the next meeting, there should be some public folks here. There's a movement to ask the county to allow ATV traffic on the Lake Moxie Road. The road is 3 different pieces. Both ends are the Forks' responsibility. The descent of 3 miles is county road, and we haven't allowed ATV traffic on our section at all, except for about a 100-yard stretch that goes from the trailhead down to Moxie Falls parking lot. They were crossing the road and running the shoulder and chewing the shoulder all up. So we allowed them to use about 100 yards of road to get to the parking lot. But they want to use the entire 3 miles. From my standpoint, I don't think that's a good idea. Road consultant, Phil, he does not like it. The road is not built for any shoulders or any, if an ATV wants to get off the road. The shoulders are very short and then pretty steep down the ditches. And there's a little village. There's a built-up section of about a couple dozen little houses and camps right along the road itself. And I think the ATV traffic going by would disturb the residents quite a bit. And there's a couple S-turns in that road. And it's full of whitewater rafters all summer long. They're not known for cautious driving. So I personally don't think it's a good idea, but we'll probably have that on the next agenda. And you'll have some people that should come in and speak. And tomorrow night, the town of the Forks Plantation, they're having a town meeting about their 2 ends. I think it might pass. I expect it to pass if they'll want to use their part of the road, but I don't think it's good for.
So this is not the Deadwater Road. This is
No.
further north. Oh.
This is the road from 201 right by the Kennebec River Bridge,
Yeah.
and it goes 5 miles east to Moxie Pond.
Oh, okay.
So it's all paved. We've spent over $1 million fixing that road all up. Kind of beat up now because of all the power line work that went in for the corridor. And, there's already trails that go through the woods. That's what's in use now. And there's no businesses along that road except Seamoxy Outfitters, and people aren't going to, drive to that with their ATVs. So I just want you to know it's going to be at the next meeting. You'll probably have some folks that will be here to speak. So I don't know if you want to do that at the beginning, workshop.
Yeah,
Or,
well, maybe we'll just have set up public comments.
okay.
That'd be early in the
Yeah, I just want to
We'd
get-
already discussed that road, didn't we?
Huh?
We'd already discussed that section of road and denied it.
About what?
But we already discussed that section of road and had denied it in the past.
Yeah, about 4 years ago.
Yeah, it was the old crew.
That would have been maybe the 100-yard stretch.
Right.
We've never done anything with the whole section of the road.
That's what I mean.
And this will be different because if indeed it does pass at the Forks level, that they're the ones that will be coming asking for your middle part.
Yeah.
So apparently the Forks have not approved this before.
No, they actually were using a stretch from Route 201 up maybe a quarter of a mile. When we paved the road, they paved a whole section by the guardrail strictly for ATV use. Then it would cross the road onto the trailhead about a quarter mile from 201. Now they want to have ATVs running up and down the road.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good.
You're seeing a lot of this around, like Skellington's opening up for a couple roads. I think Norwalk is fully.
Yeah, Norwalk,
You've had a few exceptions.
Yeah.
It's the new world we live in, ATVs.
Yeah.
They look like pickup trucks now.
Exactly.
And they cost as much.
If not more.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a big deal. I really like a pickup truck.
All set? Move along to new business. Resolution 25-150 to approve changes to the Somerset County Public Records Policy. Talked about this last week. Is that a motion?
Sid made a motion, I seconded it.
Oh, okay, very good. Discussion? No discussion? All in favor? Okay, so go. Resolution 25-151 to pay the following award for community benefit funds for completion of matching grant projects, Town of Skowhegan IT upgrades, $15,000, Maine Grain Alliance Bread Fair Marketing, $14,984.07.
So moved.
Second.
Move to second. Any discussion? All in favor? 3. Any opposed? 1. Resolution 25-152 to approve the hiring of Jordan Clark, Alicia Burnham, Timothy Davis, Nicholas Maglione as corrections officers at Somerset County Jail.
So moved.
And second? Second. All in favor? Let's go. Unorganized territory to authorize adding $10,000 from the community benefit funds to the existing county loan to the Valley Riders Snowmobile Club.
So moved.
Move to second. Any discussion?
If I might add, I think this is going to reflect, because I wrote this after our conversation.
Yeah.
But what you're talking about is actually taking $10,000 from community benefit to give to SEDC for a new loan to the Moose Alley.
We're not giving it to SADC.
Yes, we are. We're giving it to SEDC, and they're going to loan it to, because that's what we talked about.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, we're loaning it to SEDC, and they're going to loan it to them, and they're going to pay us back.
Okay. Understood. I mean,
They're not giving it, they're loaning it.
There's a little word.
We have our contract.
There's a little word in there. Okay. So as long as that's the intention, I can
catch.
I can reflect that in the minutes.
Yeah.
Loan
Be careful.
Thank you. All right.
Yes. And Christopher already said that we're going to get an extra $250 back.
ready to vote? We voting?
All ready to vote?
Yeah.
No more discussion? All in favor? Okay, it's a go. The loan is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Warrants, Resolution 25-154 to approve the treasurer's warrant for general fund, Somerset County Jail, unorganized territories, and TIF tax revenue for a total of $423,101.38.
To move.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? All right, to go. Miscellaneous discussion items, commissioners only. Just to remind you that the Maine County Commissioners Association will be meeting on the 18th and 19th. And if anybody has not yet signed up to go, we'd appreciate you to sign up to go.
If you have questions, you can email me. I'll get you signed up.
Just talk to Tim and he'll get you all signed up, get you a room and your meals and all that good things. There's some good programs there. You should go. Or your support. Did you have anything to say? So. Okay, so we will now recess to execute documents.
Read this. This is the final.
It's a case by case thing. A lot of cases.
Thank you, sir. You guys have a good time?
I'm only asking because I think it's good to know what the sense of the commission is on this grant.
What's the meeting like?